which can be worth million for you as it has been for our existing clients. Let's quickly understand the topic we will cover in this webinar. First, we will explore when is the right time to enter the franchising stage. Is franchising the ideal strategy for your brand? What it means to be franchise ready. Failures in franchising. Pillars of franchising. Remember, franchising is all about creating systems that enables others to earn profit. Without further delay, let me introduce our panel for today. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, starting with Mr. Gaurav Maria, the man who needs no introduction, the force behind creating disruptive franchise strategy for thousands of brands, entrepreneur, author, advisor, and innovator. I have known Gaurav sir for almost a decade now and have had the fortune of witnessing him help multiple brands from various industries achieve multifold growth. Mr. Maria is often addressed as father of franchising and is credited with growing and nurturing the franchise industry from when it was a concept known to few to now when every small and big business is looking to utilize this to grow their footprints. We also have the fortune of having Ms. Sonia Chaudhary with us today. Ms. Chaudhary is the Managing Director for Franchise India Brands Limited and has been in the franchise business for over 2 decades now. She has been instrumental in creating franchise network for countless brands and is well regarded as one of the greatest franchise experts in the country. We also have Mr. Ashok Kumar with us. Mr. Kumar is the Group Strategy Consultant for FIHL, where he oversees the franchise development program and consulting services. With over 16 years of experience, he has deep understanding of corporate strategy, business planning, financial modeling, franchise consulting. Mr. Kumar has worked with international organizations and India entry franchise strategy and has conducted multi-sector global market studies across 198 countries and 70 territories. Additionally, he has worked on feasibility, financial modeling, commercial due diligence, asset valuation, market stimulation, forecast models, big data analysis, and regulatory benchmark. Friends, we are expecting Mr. Maria also to join in some time. In the meanwhile, I would request Sonia ma'am and Ashok ji to take this forward.
Thank you, Deepak. And friends, a very good evening to all of you. We have a small presentation that we want to run through. But before that, I'd like to set the perspective and maybe extend to what Deepak has already spoken. At the same time, my request to all our friends who have joined in from India and overseas would be to also share a bit about themselves and their companies or their respective businesses. If you are in the business of franchising already, you run a franchise network, you just started, at what stage of the business you are currently in. All this information would, in fact, help us know you better. So guys, welcome to the Scale webinar. And this is perhaps an initiative which has been taken by Franchise India and also its group companies, which is FranCorp and Frank Global, and which is present in 97 cities in India. And we are today there in 11 countries outside India to help companies to be able to expand their network, grow, and eventually scale in order to create value via franchising. Now, passing our learning which de-risk businesses and creates a very strong proposition for all stakeholders. So when I say a strong proposition for all stakeholders, it means that you as a business owner, your partner, and equally the customer. So these are 3 important stakeholders in any business. Now, all this also comes with our experience and learning of 2.5 decades. And when I say learning, this is a validated learning of working with a few thousand companies and millions of investors over the last 27 years. And we bring all that experience of what we have seen, what were the reasons of companies who became successful, and a lot of failures also we have seen in the last 2.5 of odd decades. Now, while franchising creates a lot of intelligent synergies because it brings in the combined strength, right? So when I say combined strength, the combined strength of a company, the brand owner, franchisor, and also the franchisee who's a partner in the business who collaborate with each other to make the business sustainable. So you heard it right. It's a intelligence synergy of both coming together. Today, almost every company that you can think of, you're consuming today would come from franchise businesses. Even a lot of startups in the country, in India that we see, 25% of these startups, they use franchising to scale their, either a product or service. And companies who get into franchising, and especially young companies, they already have a pressure of creating a big market, and there is no bigger strategy than franchising to scale faster. So franchising is indeed a great way to scale up a business because it allows a company to be able to expand the operations without having to directly fund its own expansion, and at the same time minimizing the risk and eliminating the need to raise excessive capital, right? So franchising is a debt-free and equity-free capital, but a very responsible way of raising capital. In India, I'm sure you as business owners would know the cost of capital is very, very high. So the most of the business models that we see around, they're not able to survive that cost of capital and they fail eventually. So before a company gets or decides to get into franchising, it is very crucial to ensure that it is well prepared and also has the necessary foundation to enter franchising. And so if you want to scale, you have to create capacities to scale, else your business will never, ever be viable. So how do we create a very consistent and a repeatable business model is what we're going to talk about. Now, in order to do that, the foundation, like I said, is the construct of the business model, which is made keeping sustainability in mind. Only sustainable business models create value. And these models are also worked upon from time to time, which is based on the stage of the business, the market behavior, the trends in the market, the timing of the business. And they cannot be as the same industry, but we don't recommend all these businesses the same business model to enter market because they all come with their own strength. They are at a different stage of their business. Some of them are just starting up, maybe at an incubation stage. Some are growing, some are penetrating, some are already gone to a stage where they are looking at a big scale. So depending at what stage you are, the capacities and the skill set which is required is very, very different. Now, the second area which I want to also highlight is unit economics, which is very, very important part of creating a business model. Because if the business has depressed microeconomics, it creates a lot of issues for business to sustain. Right? So when I say unit economics, here we understand typically, every single element and we put a science behind it, right? So which means how much capital investment is required. We also consider the functional aspect of the investment. There has to be efficient store sizing. There has to be a science behind how much per square feet efficiencies the businesses are delivering. And this is also very different industry to industry and category to category. Same industry, say food or education for a preschool, for a training, for a K-12, all these would give different per square feet efficiencies. The kind of product mix that goes in your business model, which are the products which give you higher margins, which are the loss leaders, what is the stock rotation, right? So rent to revenue ratio. So these are all unit economics that we take into consideration when we advise companies on creating a business model. So we'll talk about that in detail. I'll request all of you guys, I saw some of you were raising hands. You can write your questions in the Q&A box. We'll be happy to take these questions. If you also read more about your businesses, we would be happy to maybe go through your website and your businesses. So just to start off with, I'll give you introduction about all the companies and the parent companies Franchise India. All our businesses overseas in international markets outside India are under the name of Fran Global. So all our three companies, which is Franchise India, Fran Global, and FranCorp, we're all committed to entrepreneurship, and we work with companies across all spectrums. So I start with FranCorp. FranCorp is the consulting arm of Franchise India Group. This is an American company, and in fact, this is the world's largest and also the oldest franchise consulting company, which comes with 47 years of experience working with some of the big names in the industry, like Hilton hotels, like McDonald's, like KFCs, like Hershey. All these companies in America have been consulted by FranCorp. And in India, we acquired the rights of FranCorp about 18 years back. And in fact, FranCorp is the pioneer when it comes to franchise consulting. It is present in more than 20 countries across the globe. And over the course of last, I would say 18 odd years, FranCorp in India has consulted more than 20,000 companies across all industries, which includes food, I would say all subcategories in food, from a QSR to a fine dining, to a delivery model, to a cloud kitchen, to some of the India top leading companies. We work with them all. Healthcare, retail, wellness, services, salons. And that has been done through, or rather, I would say, across the length and breadth of the country. And we also take pride in being an important part of the business expansion journey of many of the companies and value creation journey, and we continue to do that. Franchise India is a 27-year-old enterprise, which at the group level is a fully integrated franchise solution company. And we're also the largest franchise development and distribution company in the world. So when I talk about Franchise India and the capabilities through our group companies, our distribution in India overseas market, there is nobody who would say or have the kind of distribution network that we currently have. And over the years, this was not something that we did overnight, but over the last 27 years, we've also worked very hard and invested our time, money, learning to build and also evolve our capacities at the group level to add value to the franchise community, and also build entrepreneurship, which has been the core driver of our business. Now, any company, friends, who's looking to grow the business, typically would need three set of capabilities, right? So one is you need your readiness and capability, so to say, to go to market, which is you need to have the right business model in place, a sustainable business model, as I would rightly word that. And second, you need to have the marketing opportunity to reach out to potential partners. And third, which a lot of even larger companies in India lack, is distribution, which means they might be running a distribution or dealership, or I would say a franchise business, but they would not have teams across India to maximize the impact of the marketing, right? So because you have leads coming from every city or a state, and most of the companies would not have their teams in these locations. So these are three capabilities any company needs, and our group companies addresses this need through solutions from specialized business entities, which give holistic solutions to companies looking to grow and eventually scale, which broadly are classified under, I would say, 4 entities or 4 platforms. In India, like I said, our business runs under the umbrella of Franchise India. Globally, we are Fran Global, which is also a market entry specialist. So Fran Global has worked with more than 500 companies to bring them to Indian market and some of the neighboring markets. So the 4 platforms are broadly our media platform. Second is the scale platform. Third is the investment platform, and fourth is the exit platform. So media platform is largely our media business. We run the largest media company in the country, which gives exposure through large exhibitions, about 120 large exhibitions we do every year in India, and about 20 international countries. We are doing a franchise exhibition in the year 2024. And some of the most coveted magazines, which includes Entrepreneur, which is again a global magazine, American company. We have a partnership with Entrepreneur for entire Asia. And if you have been following franchising, and some of our friends who might be from locations outside India and even in India, I'm sure you might know the strength of the magazine. In fact, all the companies in America are rated by Entrepreneur, from McDonald's to Subways, all these companies every year are ranked by Entrepreneur in terms of, a scale of 1 to 100. And the second magazine is Franchising World, which is our publication, which we started way back in 1999. And the third publication is Retailer. So these are 3 larger print publications that we have. And then we also have a website, which is franchiseindia.com. Maybe I can type that. You can also visit the website of Franchise India, where more than 16,000 plus companies have, in fact, listed their businesses, and they interact with over 1 million investors who show interest based on their investment appetite, based on their location, based on the industry they are interested in. The second platform is largely, used, or I would say has been created largely for companies like yourself, which I'm saying a scale platform, where we work with brands, we work with franchisors, companies, and again, at all stages, we work with startups, we work with companies at growth stage, we work with companies at scale stage, from unicorns to listed companies. We work with companies across, all shapes and sizes. We work with them to make them ready to enter franchising, and eventually help them to expand their business in geographies, which could be within a city, within a state, within a region, across India, or global markets outside India. And the third platform is our investment platform. This platform is largely leveraged by a very big community of investors or business buyers. These are people who want to invest in businesses, from retail investors to HNIs, to ultra HNIs, to family offices. And I would say even companies who want to diversify their businesses would use this platform to find information about companies where they can invest. Now, this investment can be as small as 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, and goes up to even 100 crores in case of maybe, a bigger master franchise deal, or maybe an M&A deal that we do with the companies. And our fourth platform is exit platform, where we also work with businesses who want to exit and maybe find a new owner, which are done for various reasons, where companies want to exit businesses, which could be capital issue, where they don't have enough capital to fund their next cycle of their growth journey. It could also be succession issues, where they don't have the next, I would say, succession to lead the business. So it can be various reasons. So we work with companies and find them either a strategic investor or a financial investor in their businesses. So at all our companies, I would say we play a very important role of a catalyst in the entire ecosystem of franchising. And we have always believed that our responsibility is to educate companies on responsible franchising, and also assist companies to build a sustainable business model, which can create a big value for everybody who's involved in the business, and hence our proposition for scale up. So we understand that building a business or a company is not easy. It requires a lot of thorough understanding on the industry, the market that we are in. And that is what FranCorp and Franchise India together brings in. So I'll start with giving you a little understanding on how big is the industry in franchising, because that's what we're talking about. Now, when we look at India, right? So there's some dynamics which I would be able to maybe give some reference of, and you can acknowledge and maybe relate to it. If we consider India today, it's one of the best time where the entire, I would say, the globe is looking at India as the next big investment opportunity. Even the economic fundamentals signal that the market has an enormous potential. And India is today a powerhouse, in the entire globalized world. We were, in fact, 10 years behind many countries like China. We were 25 years behind US 20 years back. But, fast forward these 20 years, the situation, the narrative has changed. What is happening what was happening in these countries back then is happening in India now. And what we have done in the last 75 years of our existence after independence, also, I would say India would do 2x of that in the next 10 years. And franchising is going to play a very, very important role in that overall growth of our economy and our business. Now, if you look at franchising, it is a very big impact market. And when I say it's a big impact market, is because everything that is being consumed by you in the form of products, in the form of services, all that is coming from a franchise business. From the time you start your day to the time that you end your day, everything that you consume from maybe your quick commerce platforms like Zepto, Blinkit, and the kinds of them, to the school your child is going to the malls that you go and buy your fashion products, any services being consumed from salons, spa, even the dairy that your product morning comes from, essentials come from, they all come from a franchise business. So India has a strong economic fundamental of domestic consumption. And this domestic consumption is also proportionate to franchising. So as the consumption would increase, so would be franchising and the impact of franchising. So with the given context today, where our country is almost about $180 billion, when I talk about franchising as an industry, the next 10 years, this would be 10x of what you see today. The contribution today of franchising in India is about 4% of our GDP. And this is only going to increase in the coming 10 years. And a big thumbs up, I would say, is to the consumption story of India, which is interesting, very big, and it makes our economy also resilient. And nearly 70% of India's GDP is driven by domestic consumption. Right? If we talk about domestic consumption in economies like China, that is only 53% GDP versus India, which is 70% of India's GDP driven by domestic consumption. And more than that, the consumption cycles are also changing. We are comparatively low in terms of low per capita in many categories, but all that has started to change. Consumption is a very big lever of growth. And like I said, franchising is proportionate to consumption. Most consumer categories have in fact become 3.5 times more larger than what they were 30 years back in 1991. Industries, which sometimes don't come to mind, even industries like maybe a paint industry, India is painting more homes today than they were 15 years back. People were painting their homes once in 7 years. Today, they are painting their homes once in 4 years. Even our eating out pattern has changed. We were eating out maybe once in a month. That average has increased, especially in urban. If you look at the urban cities, I was talking to my teams a couple of days back. Some of my new team members had joined in some cities, and I was surprised to know they either go out or they order at least 7 to 8 meals in a week. So all that consumption is changing. And this entire consumption is also becoming branded and formalized. And we have a great, you can see the retail infrastructure which has developed across the country. Now, what we saw in retail or modernization of retail 20 years back is what is happening with the service industry. Right? So from direct to consumer healthcare services to cleaning at home to salon spa services at home, all that is becoming branded today. Another point which I think is very important to also understand, India has a very big entrepreneurial legacy. Franchising, entrepreneurship goes hand in hand. And especially the demand at the bottom of the pyramid is very, very big. And there's no surprise India is called a shopkeeper nation, because you find every home Indian who has an aspiration of starting a business at some point of time in their life. So all these people are looking at buying businesses. And very interesting, fact I'll share with you. When we started our business about 27, 20, we're in the 27th year now, we had only about, I would say, 8 to 10% people who were looking for businesses first time ever into, and when I say first time, they were first time entrepreneurs. And 90% people were not considering, because the entry barrier was big, insecurity, risk of starting a business was huge. Now, 27 years from where we started today, a very big community who is a business buyer is the first generation entrepreneur. Out of 100 businesses which are demanded or sold or awarded, I would say 60% of these businesses are bought by business owners who have no experience, and they're getting into the business for the very first time. And this is only going to increase in the next 10 years. And no surprise, I think the next 10 years, this number should be almost about 75, 80%, where first-time business buyers are getting into business. And a very big reason, obviously, I said entrepreneur legacy that we have in India, but equally there's a, especially in cities which are beyond, I would say, the metro cosmo cities in India, there's a dearth of job opportunities which can give you high paying, which can pay you, a high job. So beyond tier two, one city, you don't have many jobs which can pay you a lakh or a 2 lakh every month. And the same phenomena you will also see in the startup ecosystem. 49% of startups in India come from tier 2, tier 3, which is itself a big validation of the spirit and the potential of entrepreneurship, that we see in a country like ours. Now, I'll request Ashok to take us through a small presentation. I'll also like to read any comments that you have put. But business model overall, I would say, is composed of largely 3 elements, which are, first and foremost, I would say the customer, which means solutions. What are solutions we're looking at? What is the problem solving we are doing? What is the job to be done? So we need to identify how big is the addressable market for the business I am in, and how big is the opportunity of that addressable market. Second, what you need to understand is the set of resources, capabilities which are required for a business owner like you to deliver the product or service to the end consumer. And third, what is your revenue model? How your business is going to actually make money. Now, business model is basically, how much value creation your business can do. And so how are you distributing this value amongst the entire, stakeholders of your business? So 2 things you must know and work upon. One is the business model, which is basically the logic of the company, why you operate, why you exist. One. Strategy is the choice of business model that you take to the market so that you can compete in the marketplace with others in the market. Right, so that's the magic, that's the magic which strategy creates, and this is also reason why 2 companies in the same category would not have the same strategy and would look at different choice of business model, to go to the market. So we'll talk and we'll take you through a small presentation, friends. I'll be happy if you have any questions. We'll take these questions also. So we'll place that in our on our screens now, and over to you, Ashok. And guys, I'll request if you can also share your businesses. I see some of you, Swarabji, if you want to share what you do, what business, which city you come from. If you're into franchising, not franchising, maybe you could just put F, which is not franchising or franchising. You can share the sites of your companies that you currently run. This would actually make our session more interactive. Ashok, over to you.
Thank you, Sonia, ma'am, for briefing us. I think as we look at the Indian markets, yes, the whole globe is eyeing on India, is looking at India, even after this COVID pandemic, because that has started anti-China movement. And then this geopolitical realignments in the globe has again disturbed the whole economies, even like markets like US, Europe, and Asian markets. So businesses and entrepreneurs, they see India as a big opportunity as of now. And if you look at the market conditions and drivers, I think one of the biggest components of the market drivers are going to be our women entrepreneurs and women workforce. So these two components are going to drive the future for India. If you compare China and India, so China has 60% women workforce and India has 20%. So that is the biggest component. So if India trend, if you look at the women workforce and women entrepreneurship is rising in India. So even if we achieve like 40%, 40 to 50% of the women workforce, India is going to be a superpower in the world. So that kind of market that we see going forward. And if you look at the vision of India, by 2035, India want to achieve $10 trillion economy, right? So even if you take like 10% of this $10 trillion economy through franchising, that is going to be a much larger component for the brands, businesses who can attract that capital to scale their businesses. So that is the opportunity, and the timing are very good, very attractive currently. So it's the big time to attack this investment and scale your businesses through franchising, right? And franchising is the very powerful tool. If you look at any large organization, even if you look at the largest like investment firms, or you can say like largest revenue generation firms, these are your automotive companies and your oil marketing companies. You take an example of any oil marketing companies, they are scaling their businesses through franchise model. You look at the OEMs, automotive companies, they are utilizing franchising as a powerful tool to scale their businesses, right? So now we will start with the presentation. So to start your business, or you can say to franchise your business, what are the elements that you require to prepare with, and what kind of readiness you require to before you get into franchise? Okay. Yeah. So as Sonia ji said, like Frankop is the largest consulting firm in the world, and they provide basically end-to-end consulting services for franchise industry. So that is starting from like your strategy, your financial modeling, your legal advisory, your marketing communications, PR strategies, and SOP. That's your standardization of your operating manuals. Yeah. Deepak, my screen is visible?
Yes, it is, Ashok.
Yeah. Okay, so there is the capability, and Frankop has a team of 15 to 20 experts. So we have like strategy consultant, financial experts, legal advisors, marketing communication experts, content writers, graphic designers, research and SOP consultants who have been working with multiple brands, designing their SOP manuals. Right? So they bring a lot of knowledge and legacy to improve your efficiencies and minimize the basically your risks in your strategy. Right. So we'll talk about like is franchising right for you, or is franchising for you, and what is the right time? So we have these few questions. So if you have the answer for these questions, definitely you can franchise your business. right? So first of all, so franchising is not for everyone. That's for correct, because it's a very responsible business idea for to scale your business, because you are promising investor or a franchisor that you can make money on my business. So that means it's a responsibility. And if you say is when is the right time to scale your business, so I think like there is no ideal time to start a business, or there is no right time. The right time is to make decision and take an exit. So that is the only right time to franchise your business. Doesn't matter you are a new startup, you are coming with new concepts or new innovative design or product, you can utilize franchising tool to scale your business. If you look at the world evolution, there was nothing was happened in ideal condition. Is whatever is invented or evaluated is under worse conditions, right? So timings are always right, just the matter of the decision you take, right? Now we'll talk about the business, how you can scale up. Like, so what is the key questions that you need to ask yourself? If your product or service has a greater demand in the market and you are not able to service that uh, demand, no? So that is the, we need to see a demand supply gap, right? And that demand is not necessarily the city or the location that you are sitting in. You might be operating in one city or one location, and your demand might be coming from the other locations, because your economy shifts from developed economies towards the developing economies. So how you are going to service that demand at other locations? So definitely you can utilize franchising as a tool to scale your business. Second question, your immediate competition has taken over, but you have a better product or better quality. So if you are better in delivering that product or service, so the quality that matters, right? So definitely you can utilize franchising platforms to scale your businesses. My next question, basically, if you have capital constraint, if you are lacking capital to scale your business, and definitely franchising is a tool where basically you can raise a risk-free capital to scale your business, where your risk is shared by your investor or by your franchising partner, and you don't lose or don't dilute any equity for scale up. My next point is basically operational efficiency. Right? So to bring the better operating efficiency in your business, you should consider franchising as a tool to scale your business. You can compare basically who can be like give you the better service, your franchisee who has invested with you and taking care of your daily operations, versus an employee. Right? The next question is basically, if you have some disruptive idea, disruptive or innovative idea or business, so you want to take a first mover advantage, definitely you should utilize franchise as a tool to scale your business. And the last question is basically economy of scale. So franchising is only the platform or the way where you can scale your business at a rapid scale uh, through various models. So you have like national partners, regional partners, and multi-unit partners. So it gives you the higher economy of scale your business, right? And that cannot be done through your capital investment, through equity raise, or through any other funding source. So that is the power of franchising. Right. We are coming. So we have this 18-point checklist. So make you ready to franchise your business. So in these 18 points, we have like 6 segments in this. So first segment is your brand preference and engagement. Okay, so brand preference and engagement, that comes from like credibility. So credibility, then positive PR and social media print, and then you have award and recognitions. So credibility, yes, of course, you might be running your business for generations, for decades, or for many years. So that brings basically the credibility. You're running the successful operations for many years. Yes, marketing, yes. So marketing is a continuous investment for any business. So that brings again the credibility and awareness to the market. And award and recognitions, these gives you the credibility and recognition in the market. The next segment, we talk about your proven businesses, systems, and processes. So where your prototype, so business prototype, if you have like successful, sustainable business model, or you can say successful business prototype that can be scaled at the multiple locations, yes, you can franchise your business. But your micro efficiency in your business model is very, very important. My next point is basically the approach, operating manuals, so SOPs. So even if you are managing entire operations yourself, that means you are in the business, and to scale your business is basically limits you. You don't have that kind of scalability to scale your business. So you should develop the capability where you make your business as a system driven. And so from being in the business, you are on the business. So once you are on the business, you can scale your business, right? But so the designing these standard SOPs, so you don't dilute basically the end customer service or experience, that's very, very important. So you should have a uniform standard for your day-to-day operations. Next point is your strong vendor relationship. Yes, of course, for complete supply chain or your business, even you are a product business or a service business, you should have basically the complete supply chain starting from manufacturing or production and goes up to the end customer delivery. My next point is the financial performance and margins. So where we talk about the returns on investment. So even if we can demonstrate our past performances or current performances to the franchisees and return on investment. So the initial level, basically, you should have enough capability or enough margin in your business to share with your franchisee partner under the development phase, so you make them profitable, right? So as in the last slide, we talk about it's a very responsible business because you are promising an investor or a franchisee partner that he can make money on your business. That means so you should have that high profit margin sharing with your franchisee, because your maximum cost is taken care by your franchisee partner. So you are setting up an outlet or a center or a clinic. He is taking care of your initial infrastructure investments and your operating expenses. Right? So you should have enough margins to make that successful. If you create your 4 or 5 initial franchisees successful, then you don't require any agency or any firm to help you to scale your business. Then you are self-piloted and you can scale your business. And then capitalization. Yes, for any business, it requires investment. So the investment that you are planning to invest your business to scale up is better. You invest that amount into developing your capabilities and utilize franchising tool to scale your business, gives you the better strategy and approach. Right? My next segment is the management and leadership team. Of course, this is a entrepreneurship to entrepreneurship business model. So people invest on people, right? So your founder story, your management team, their expertise, their experience, their industry knowledge, that matters a lot. And your organizational design. My next component is basically competition and marketing trend. Yes, of course. So for market trend and competition, you need to study 5 components. So demand for your product and service, then supply of your product and service. Third thing is the competition in the market. And fourth thing is the price for your product or service. And fifth one is the technology. So technology, how you are utilizing technology to bringing efficiencies in your businesses. Right? So to predict market, basically because FIHL, we do have like cross industry knowledges. We work with more than 20,000 clients, so we understand the market and unit economics very well. So we work with you to forecast these markets. Then your product and service. If you talk about product and service, so yes, of course, you should have an innovative design for your product and services. So you should have continuous improvement in your products and services uh, to deliver to your end customer, because uh, you are going to deliver better experience, better knowledge, better ambience to the customer. That's how you are going to retain those customers with you. And you should have a differentiation in terms of your offering, in terms of your price and experience that you deliver to the end consumer, right? And change cycle. So change cycle means everything changes with time. There's nothing is permanent in this world. So you should be change ready for future, right? So you can take an example of the a few companies that they have failed because they are not technology equipped. They were not future change ready. So that's, you can talk about like T series, which was a like tape. Uh, they used to manufacture tapes, right? Same like CDs, DVDs, it's gone. You look at your codec. They used to manufacture like camera and camera reels. No longer requires technology. Digital technology has replaced them. Right? So you should be future ready in your business. Now we will talk about these four pillars in franchising. So we talk about innovations and performance. So it has four pillars. One is your PAS, that we call as productivity, accountability, standardization, and scalability. Right. So talking about the PAS basically predictability. If you have micromanagement in your business, if you can measure your performance, uh, definitely that efficiency uh, will help you to scale your business. If you can, that will help you in developing optimized investment model for the franchisees, right? So where you can do the accurate forecast. Even if you deviate, you can measure that performance and those gaps, and you can revise your strategies to improve on that. Accountability. So accountability is a very, very important aspect, even for your business, even your stakeholders or partners or franchisee partners, or employees. Everyone should have the accountability, right? And so how you're going to define that accountability of your each stakeholder in the business uh, is very, very important. And that's how you are going to remove organizational inefficiencies from your business. But if you don't have the accountability, you don't have the systems or procedures in place, of course you will getting end up with 20% efficiencies of your resources, or 30% of the efficiency of the resources. That is the industry average, right? So if you look at your industries, so industry employees, they work on 20 to 30% of efficiencies, right? So we need to bring up accountabilities and better efficiencies in our business. Standardization. So your SOPs are very, very important. So you should have very transparent and uniform standards, so you deliver the same experience to your end consumer across the multiple locations, multiple geographies. So you don't dilute the service quality. Next one is the scalability. So of course, you should have a better understanding of the total addressable market and what kind of market you want to capture in short term, medium term, and long term, along with your start. Right. Now we come to the second pillar of this, that's called your triple C. So control, compliance, and consumer connect. Control, of course, because very, very important now, because you are handing over your business to the franchisee partner, somebody else, to run that business, right? So how you can have a better control or 360-degree protection for your business, for your brand. So where basically our expertise comes in, we work with you to design these kind of 360-degree protection through various channels. So we have like financial obligations, we have legal obligations, and we use like technology applications to bring the superior control on the business. Once we talk about the compliance, yes, because if you look at the other regions, any states, each state have its own regulatory, own governments, different regulations. Countries are having like different regulations. So how we can bring superior legal compliances? So there basically our franchisee partner, their capabilities comes in. They can bring these local compliances efficiently and effectively in the business. Consumer connect, yes, last mile consumer connect for like having the consistent experience. That is the responsibility of the franchisee to deliver. Right. Now we'll talk about the next pillar is AIR. So the attractiveness, investor readiness, and risk hedge. Attractiveness, because if you look at the opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities out there. We work with like 20,000 brands. That means 20,000 opportunities are available in the market. So how you bring your opportunity that's as a unique opportunity, unique offering for the investors, right? So that is the very, very key to attack this investment, right? Investor readiness, if you look at your investor readiness for short-term, medium-term, and long-term performances, how you are prepared, you should have a stage-wise investor readiness program. Risk hedging, yes, of course, because franchisee is investing on you, on your trust, on your face value, on your brand value, and in the confidence that he's going to make money on your business. But practically, you know the upside and downside of the business. You are in the business for many, many years. So you know the pain points and risk areas. So those, we need to minimize the risk for the franchisee partners to bring profitability for franchisees. Fourth pillar is ERR, encourage, recognize, and reward programs. Of course, encourage basically you need to practice and promote fair practices in the encourage performances in the business. Recognize top performance and incentivize that those players or those partners. It can be your franchisee team, it can be your stakeholders or partners. So you should have like clearly marked targets, monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or annually, and then reward them accordingly. Right? And that same goes to your end consumer. You should also encourage and reward your end customers who are your consistent consumers. You should have a special treatment for your customers, special customers. Right? So yeah, so that is the, these are the basically pillars and expertise and capabilities that you require to develop a franchise model or franchise strategy, right? It is not a rocket science to develop strategies. Companies can do this internally, but it takes a lot of resources to develop that kind of strategies. Plus, it requires a validation of your strategy, right? To develop a strategy, you require strategy consultant, you require financial experts, you require legal consultants, you require marketing experts, you require content writers, you require graphic designers, and then you require like digital marketing expertise. So if you are putting that together, if you want to build those capabilities in house, it's going to take you like forever. It may take you like 6 months or 1 year just only to acquire the resources and train them to prepare your strategies, where basically you can acquire FranCorp services and franchise India services to develop that strategy and go to market strategy for you, where we bring we work with you to design and develop your strategies, and side by side we validate your strategies. So that is the expertise of the FranCorp, and then we design brand and PR strategies. Once one part is your preparedness. Once you are ready, then basically you require right franchisee partner, right? So as important as design your concrete strategy, equally important to have the right partner in your business. Right? So how to find those partners, how to evaluate those partners, where basically we work with you to design the mechanism, and our Franchise India team capabilities comes in to do marketing for you, do lead generation for you, manage these leads for you, and bring right partners for you. Right, so a right partner for you, basically the Franchise India teams, they do due diligence for each partner based on 4 fits. So a strategic fit, that means basically they check the background of the investor or franchisee partner. If they are in the same background or similar industry, they have past experience, who has the capability to scale your business at the next level, that will be considered as a strategic partner for us. Next one is your financial partner. So if your franchisee has the right financial fit, he has enough financial bandwidth to invest in your business, we evaluate those. My next fit is operational fit. So if my franchisee can bring day-to-day operating capabilities, uh, are going to be our preferred partners. And fourth fit, we evaluate the franchisees on marketing fit, how my franchisee can help us in generating local demand. So that is the evaluation for the fourth fit. So based on these 4 fits, we bring franchisee partners and basically bring closures for you. So these are the complete services that we do. So what we have done here, we have basically taken all of these services and packaged into the 4 primary products that FrankOp and Franchise India offers. So so this is based on like scope of work, their target of like scaling your business in a particular geography or particular region or a state, or you want like across multiple regions you want to scale up, or you multiple countries or multiple geographies you want to scale up. So based on your scope and engagement, we offer these 4 products. So starting from a small businesses to medium-sized businesses to the large organizations. So we have a minimum engagement of 1 year and goes up to 3-year program as well in FriendMax. Right. So for more details, you can reach out to our team member Isha. So she can help you to understand these product offerings in detail on one-to-one basis and associated commercials as well. Right. So that's it. So this is again, I will brief. Is a quick brief. I think Sonia ji has already talked about these services. So Franchise India is the world's largest organization. It's a 27-year-old organization. We work with more than 20,000 clients. We have an active team of more than 1,500 professionals in India and across international markets. And in India, we have presence in more than 97 cities. And we have developed like 90% of the India franchise industry market, and we have a direct connect with more than 1 million investors. And FrankOp is the 17 years old organization in India, and we have been working with many clients in helping them in their growth journey. So with this, I will end the presentation, and I would say, if you have a right business or right product and you are ready to take off, I think FrankOp and Franchise India is the right platform to take it up to the next level. So I would invite Mr. Deepak to take a few queries from the Q&A box.
Thank you, Ashokji. Friends, if you have any queries, you can put it on the Q&A box and we'll pick it up. And I hope this session was worth. And thank you to Ashokji and Sonia ma'am, who were able to give us an insight on what it takes to become franchise ready, what are the challenges in franchising. Specifically, Ashok spoke about pillars of franchising. We are more than happy to have one-on-one call with you. Isha, who's our colleague, has been in touch with you. And if you want to have a no obligation call with us where we can understand your business better and suggest and recommend you that how we can help you scale your business through franchising. So thank you, friends. Thank you for joining. And we'll come back to you again on next Wednesday with a webinar. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you so much.